Good evening and welcome to our little corner of the internet where we talk about fountain pens, inks, journals, and journaling, and just about anything and everything that's going to keep you inspired. And this evening we have a special treat. We have one of my best friends in the pen community, a myth, a legend, just an all around fantastic guy. I'm not going to waste too much time, I'm going to get him right in. But I'm very happy and pleased to welcome Brendan Schmidt from Atlas Stationers. Look at you. Let me just look at you for a minute. How you doing?
I'm doing well, brother. How you been?
I'm doing really well. Really well. You look good. Everything's going your way. You know, it's fantastic. I see you online. You had a lot of energy and excitement. Looks like you're getting ready to tie the knot soon. You got a lot going on, my friend.
hmm
I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you think of
Well,
like,
thank you. Yeah, it seems like time.
yeah, it just
Oh, go
goes
ahead. I'm
by so
sorry.
fast. No, I was just thinking like when we first met,
Mhm.
and we're both kind of in different places in a way, and now here we are, and it's I'm just really happy to see you so happy and doing so well. So
Thank you. No,
yeah.
that means a lot. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. We met about a year ago officially, and time goes by quickly, and before you know it, you got the next thing coming up. So for me, that's a wedding next year. We have an engagement photo session happening this Friday, which we're really thrilled about and nervous at the same time. That's why I've been growing out the hair a little bit, trying
Oh,
to get a new
okay.
look in. I feel like every time you see me, I've got some a new aesthetic which we try out.
Yeah, you do. You tweak it a little bit, so you're going more for a longer hair look, huh? That's different. Good for you. And you think you'll
hmm
when you get married, you'll keep the same
hmm
look, or
Say that again. Hold on. Let me turn off my Wi.
yeah, good old technology. Always a challenge.
Can you hear me still?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you now. Looks like you froze up a little. I don't know. Technology's always a struggle. You think when you get married, you'll keep the same look, or well, maybe maybe click back in, Brendan. Oh, and we lost Brendan. I'm sure he'll click back in. I think he was having some technical issues, or maybe I was. It wouldn't be the Hemingway Jones show without it. But I can tell you some fun stuff. We got a nice video coming on Thursday, and it's a story of the pen, the Lamy Vista. And now we have Brendan
Yeah. No,
back. Here he
can you
is.
hear me?
I can. I hear you much better now. Sorry about that. It wouldn't be my show without a technical hiccup. So, you know.
Yeah, I apologize if that was from my end, but yeah, what I was saying is that yeah, the wedding's coming up next year. I'll probably cut it. I like your hairstyle, that nice fade
Oh,
that you do every couple weeks. It's
thanks.
crisp, it's clean. Who can argue that?
Well, when you get to be my age, and that's a long time for you, I found that it makes me look a little younger to have shorter hair. For some reason, when my hair's longer, it just makes me
Mhm,
looks more my age. We're all running from the clock at this point, so
mhm,
it's all good. But
mhm,
great to have you on. I'm excited to hear a lot of different things. I want to hear what's new in the world of Atlas and the pens that are coming up this autumn. A couple of questions. I want to get your opinion on some
mhm,
exciting stuff. Your opinion on Omas and Frank Zhang and some other interesting things. Some of the pens I got from you recently, and I think I should probably tell the story of
mhm,
the infamous pen because I know a lot of people are waiting, and normally I luxuriate in people's anticipation, and I postpone it until like 45 minutes into the show. But we have so much to talk about. I thought I would mention this. First off, I want to
mhm,
thank you from the bottom of my heart for sending this.
mhm.
It's just,
Our pleasure.
fantastic. Thank you. I've since cut a full review that will be going up in a couple weeks, which is fun and exciting. But, the story was I was shopping for a pen for the channel for a long time, and we were sharing it with everyone. and I was really obsessing over what I wanted, and I wasn't sure. And of course, I ended up with this one, which is a
Hmm.
brilliant and interesting pen, and we can talk about that in a minute. But you open up the box and you never know what you're going to find when it's Atlas Stationers. And the most exciting thing was the sticker of you, which I appreciated. Sporting a
Hey, it's
blonde look.
classic to have a sticker of yourself, brother.
Ah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly, exactly. It's all fun.
I'm way behind. I don't have one of myself. But I do have a big picture of myself that one of my viewers made. It's fantastic. But then of course this was in
Good.
there too. Absolutely lovely because I said I'd never. I said two things. I said I'd never buy the pen. I said I'd never own it. So I guess I'm only contradicting on one point, but at least it was nice of you to
Hmm.
send it. So thank you. And I do have that Anubis ink in here. Have you tried Anubis ink?
Yeah, by Waringle.
Yes.
Yeah, great ink. Great
Yeah,
ink. The
yeah,
whole
it's good
brand is
stuff.
great, honestly. I haven't found an ink I dislike. Hmm.
Yeah, I agree. And they always have such creative names. And I've been doing a lot with dark academia. I don't know if you've seen any of my videos on that. And my next up, well, that I'm going to film is on dark academia inks. And Anubis is going to be one of them.
Hmm. Oh, nice. Yeah, Waring goes right up your alley. It's all inspired by world literature. I mean, that's like
Yes.
the definition of what you love, brother.
Yeah, sincerely. Sincerely. But this is really interesting. And I think you'll like the review I did. Um, talk
Hmm.
about the design, the gentleman who designed it, and what I like about it, what I don't like. There are some things. I'm not going to spoil all that now. I mean, more than anything, I wanted to thank you for sending it along, and I know that my viewers really appreciated it. They just it was so funny and so interesting with everything I had been saying. So it was a very classy
Hmm.
thing, and I appreciate it. So thank you.
Oh, our pleasure. Listen, man, you do so much good for the community. Thank you for having me on, by the way. I don't know if I thanked you tonight,
That's
but you're very deserving of all of these great fine writing instruments, inks, and you've got such a great community that you're building. So it's fun. It's fun building up these stories, and the whole Lamy 2000 controversy, like that's just been a hot topic recently for you.
yeah,
And before you go any further, and to not spoil anything for your future video that you're going
sure.
to be releasing, is the Lamy 2000 going to be a part of the legendary Hemingway Jones's everyday collection? Do you approve of the pen?
I'll say overall that there's more I like about it that I don't like. There really is. And a lot of what I thought I would hate about it, I don't. And I have
Hmm.
some problems with some other stuff about it, which is funny. What, you know,
Uh-huh.
I gotta stop because I will just give it all away. But there are some really, really cool things about it that you just have to
Sure.
respect. But I will say this: I'll give a little bit of a tease because I don't want to spoil the upcoming video. But I thought the hooded nib, and it's kind of quasi hooded. It's not like fully hooded
Hmm.
like a Parker 51. But I thought that would be a problem, and I thought I'd have trouble finding the edge and all of that, and that hasn't been an issue. So that was a
Hmm.
surprise.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the thing with honestly all fine writing instruments. If you go in with some sort of expectation, you'll reach
Yes.
expectations, and you'll not reach expectations. You'll find new things you like and don't like. And the Lamy 2000 is pretty much regarded as one of the best fountain pens ever made. So I'm excited to watch the review, see your reactions on it. I'm glad that we
Nice.
made it happen, and the community has been dying to know. Our Discord channel, I posted the link
Yes.
that had your thumbnail about like the Lamy 2000 controversy, and like
Yeah. Yeah.
six people commented below that, like, what controversy? What's happening? What's up with the 2K? And I told them they just got to wait and see.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Well, I want to talk about your Discord server in a minute, so let's hold that thought
Hmm.
over here somewhere.
Sure.
But I will say that as someone who makes YouTube and puts content out there, you do lead yourself open to some criticism, and you're sort of attacking a lot of people's sacred objects sometimes. And in this
Hmm.
case, the Lamy is so beloved and so fiercely defended by people, and to kind of come at it honestly and from a different perspective, is a little daunting, but I feel like I did it well. I feel like I've approached it well. And in fact, I believe the title of the video is something like um, an honest review of the Lamy 2000 from someone who hated it. It's something along those lines. That's how I
It
title
draws
it.
you right in.
Yeah, exact clickbait,
Love it.
but it's
Love it.
totally true. But you try to come at it in an original way too, because if you just do what everybody else has done, why watch it? So I think people will appreciate that. So that's super
Yeah,
fun.
your YouTube channel's
Okay.
been growing, brother. You've been
Thank
doing a
you.
fantastic job. Like you're really finding your ways around it. You know, we talk about social media platforms all the time. We don't need
We
to
do.
go too in depth, but
Yeah, we
I've been
get off topic.
admiring a
Thanks.
lot. It's crazy. It's crazy how well you've picked up each platform and you've started creating and editing your videos and putting out content to match whichever platform you're posting on. So I think I
Thank you.
can speak for everyone watching in the community that you built that you do a fantastic job, man. Seriously.
Oh, thanks. I really appreciate it. That's very kind. YouTube's another kind of scary thing. There's a lot of established people, and there's a
Hmm.
lot of people in this space, and it's a very small niche. The niche of fountain
Hmm.
pens, I don't think people realize just how small it is. I was talking to a CEO of a company recently and asked him, like, what percentage of your sales is fountain pens? And this was a pen producer. And
Hmm.
he said 8%.
Hmm.
8%. So, like, we think it's
Mm.
everything. So then you take a company like
Yeah.
Pilot. I bet Pilot's fountain pen sales, all their fountain pens, is probably like 3% of what Pilot does or whatnot. But
Hmm.
we're in
Well,
it,
this is
so
assuming they make a lot. Yeah.
they
They
do,
might make all
right?
sorts of other manufacturing categories. Like a lot of them will make like medical supplies or very random
Yeah,
things.
yeah, that's true.
And so it's
Yeah,
super weird to think of because to us, Pilot is only fountain pens and inks,
exactly,
right? But to
exactly.
Pilot,
Yeah,
yeah, that's cool. It builds perspective. But you're right. We're this tiny little ship cruising on these waves out in the middle of the ocean, brother. But we make the
exactly.
best of it, and the community's growing. So.
We do, and it's a lot of fun. And I didn't realize how long-winded I was when I first started making YouTubes. I was like, how am I going to do like a 10-minute video? Because I was used to doing 30 seconds over on a different platform. So it's pretty funny. But let's talk about your Discord server, because that's maybe tell everybody what it is. I mean, maybe they're not as like disconnected as I am, because my first thing was like, what is that? And then when I got in, it looks a little bit like Reddit. Would you categorize it that way, or
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
tell us
So a
about it.
lot of similarities to it. Sure. Yeah, thank you. Basically, our goal was to create and build upon the community that's been following Atlas
Mhm.
and give everyone a place where they can talk and build relationships with everyone else, right? And so there are a lot of similarities to Reddit in which you can basically start different channels for different discussions and then you have the opportunity to basically live chat with anyone else who's on. So right now, it's been about 7 days. It's been about a week since we launched the official. It's called the Hollywood Atlas Discord server, and we already have gotten pretty close to 300 members within the
Oh,
first
that's
week. So it's
great!
growing rather
Wow.
quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have a
So
very
imagine
strong
that.
community. You do. Sorry to interrupt, but
Oh,
just
thank
that,
you.
like, I get a lot of messages, usually on Instagram, where all my DMs come in, and it's so many people saying they
Hmm.
interacted with you and your family and your company, and just the glowing things and the sense of belonging that you give them and they get, and I just think that's really wonderful.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate all the support. And a big thing with the Discord is even, myself, my brother Brian, both of our parents, Mama T, King Atlas, they're on the channel as well. And basically, this server allows you to interact in live speed, right? In live time. And how it works is you basically just click the link to join, which, it's in our social media link trees or profiles.
Nice.
You just have to have a Discord account. And then we have this server, which is the entire platform for us. And then we broke it down into different channels. So there's channels for talking about all things pens related, all things ink related, all things stationery related. There's even a channel if you want to swap ink. Atlas offers a subscription box of 3 inks every month. Well, if
Oh,
you're
nice.
subscribed for the whole year, that's 36 inks, brother. What are we going to do with 36 inks? You know, that's quite a lot. So this gives you a platform for you to trade with other individuals. And again, it's just things like that where people can interact with each other and communicate and share their passions, give recommendations. But it also offers basically everything under one roof for us at Atlas. So we have a channel for social media. So right before the
Nice.
show, like a minute before, I was getting close to the cutoff time to join. I was getting a little worried I was going to miss it, but I
No,
was
you can
posting the
join
link
after. It
to
would
the
have still
Discord.
worked, but yeah, yeah. I
Oh,
was getting a
good.
little
My heart was
nervous too.
beating
It's like a
quickly.
minute of. I'm like, okay, just makes
Yeah.
me feel better to see you there. And I just need to interrupt.
Yeah.
People are saying that the Discord is Team Hollywood Discord. Is that accurate?
Team it's called Hollywood Atlas. So maybe there's
Okay,
something Team Hollywood. My name
okay,
is Hollywood as my username.
gotcha.
But yeah, so essentially, again, it's a place for everyone to communicate and interact in live time. But it also is a place for us to have everything in one roof. So the reason why I thought I was going to be late was because I was posting the link saying, hey, I'm going live right now with the legendary Hemingway Jones. Here's
Nice,
the
nice.
link right here to join, right? And then so everyone can see what we're
Oh,
doing
nice.
under the social media page. There's a new release page, which we post new products. We do about
Oh,
3 to 4
nice.
posts in there daily. So you can be amongst the first to see these new releases, or if you're lucky, we might even drop some sneak peeks. Are we supposed to? I don't
Well,
know, probably not.
but who's
But
gonna see
it's
it?
it's a
Yeah,
cool,
just your
exactly. It's a
community,
private
your
group.
community.
So
Yeah, exactly. And that's
yeah.
fantastic. And I joined today. I did.
Which thank you.
No, it's
Thank
my
you.
pleasure. I'm still kind of poking around how it works. And I
hmm
invite everyone watching to consider joining because I like that kind of access because it can get competitive with some new releases.
hmm Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
if it's something that really resonates with you and you feel like you have to have it, like that Twisby Indigo and Brass. I didn't know. I don't know if that's limited or not, but I wanted to make sure I got one before at least the first round sold out. So I ordered that
hmm
early from you guys.
hmm Yeah, that moved fast. That moved really fast. We're actually we sold out in the like, first couple of days, and then
Wow.
we've been reordering or trying to get as many as possible. The problem is when everyone else is trying to reorder, allocation is a little bit more slim, so you might have to wait a
Yes.
little bit longer. A great example though was Pelican announced their new yearly Maki, which is
Ooh.
their M1000, yeah, with the Japanese Maki.
Yes.
Beautiful. This year it's the Dragon. We got the email, and literally within 2 minutes of receiving the email from Pelican, I posted a photo in the new releases,
Okay.
uploaded it to the website. There's only 10 making it to the States. We already pre sold ours, which I'm assuming it was someone from the Discord channel
Wow.
because it sold within the first like 24 hours. So
Amazing.
that's the benefits, right? You're
Oh
meeting other
yeah.
people, you're getting the first sneak preview of this type of stuff. And hopefully it's just a fun, safe place that everyone can communicate, interact with each other, and us at Atlas too.
Fantastic. And it's just another great way to stay close. And I
hmm
find like I'm always trying to develop my community. I feel very thankful that my comment section by and large it's very genteel, it's very supportive and a lot of knowledge being shared and really nice conversation, not a lot of trolls. And I think that's a
hmm
credit to the people that come to this channel and it's the same with you guys.
hmm
You have that
Yeah, the
kind of
trolls are on
community.
TikTok.
Yeah, the trolls are definitely. Matter of fact, your video's doing well when somebody starts to insult you personally. It's sad.
Yeah, but that's how you know that they have no idea who you are or what you do,
Yep.
but your video made it to their feed, man. So you're
Yeah.
winning.
Exactly. So you're ahead. It's pretty funny. So
Good stuff.
you mentioned with the Discord server that it gives you insight into some of the new releases. So you must have a pretty good
hmm
idea of what's coming up to or at least approaching the holiday season. And I'm sure fountain pens, I mean, certainly for this bunch, prime present
hmm
for people. Just a great, fun, interesting present at any price point.
Yeah.
I got a
hmm
Twisby one year for Christmas. It was a Diamond 580, long time ago. Twisby first came out, started my love of Twisby. Even being somebody who, by that point, had Mont Blanc and some other pens, just delighted by that. But this is a very
hmm
long-winded question for me to ask you. What can we look forward to coming up this season that you guys are seeing coming in?
Sure. Yeah, and that's always the question everyone seems to want answered, and
Sure.
very fair. So, how releases happen is we go through slow periods throughout the year, and then periods where it seems like a lot of cool stuff is hitting the market all at once. Um, to break things down, sometimes it's random, sometimes it's planned, right? Like with Pelican, it seems like Pelican has made four different new release announcements in the past 2 weeks, which has been crazy. They've got their
Yeah.
pen of the year, the Rose Quartz. They've got the M600, the Artist Collection, the new Maki. They just announced the M200. It's like the copper one, which looks beautiful. That one's already pre-selling
Ooh.
very well.
I haven't
I'm a big
seen that
Pelican
one. I
guy.
need to look at that because I remember the blue and white one that came out over the summer, and I had to
Yep.
fight the desire to buy that because I had bad luck with my M200 because the cap
Hmm.
likes to come undone. Did I tell you that
Oh,
story?
interesting.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
oh, when it's
M200 I put in my
threaded.
pocket. Yes, and it's like a little. I call it my Houdini pen because it's always trying to escape. Uh oh. Okay, we lost him for a second.
Hey, sorry, I didn't realize my AirPods died. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, excellent, perfect. Sorry about that. Are
That's
you
okay.
saying when you had your 200 in your case, when you would pull it out, it would unthread or something?
No, so I have an M200. It's a traditional one, and I put it in my pocket. Kind of a nerd at work, and I have my dress shirts with the pocket, and it likes to come undone from the cap and then fall flat in the bottom of my pocket, and then all the
Oh,
ink will like
weird.
leak out like I've been shot or something, and ruin my dress shirt. And it's that one pen that does it. It's only the M200, so it's not allowed to
And-
leave the house anymore, even though I really like that pen. And the blue and white
uh-huh.
one came out. And by the way, I don't know if anybody else has had. I've never heard of anybody else having this problem. So I think it's a
Yeah,
unique problem to me.
yeah. Maybe it's like a threading issue. All of this
Maybe.
stuff is very fragile, and it's all very meticulous, and things like that can happen. I mean, even outside of the pen industry, right? There's always a margin of slight error or potential for error. So that's crazy. I hope it
Yeah.
wasn't like red ink or something, or I hope it wasn't one of your, well, all your clothing is nice. So I hope the
Thanks.
stain came out. I'm
No, it
trying to
didn't.
say.
It was black ink. It was the shirt was done, but luckily there was a Brooks
Oh,
Brothers near my office, so I was able to do a quick change, and it made for a good
oh, good,
TikTok. I can tell you that much.
nice,
Hey, your
good, good.
brother's checking in, so let's read his comment from Brian Schmidt. In case Brendan doesn't mention it, we're expecting 5 exclusive Monte Grappa pens to Atlas in the next month or so. Also, a number of older limited edition Pelicans coming.
I didn't know if I was allowed to talk about the Monte Grappa stuff, so I guess the VP over here uh, giving clearance to do so.
Okay,
So basically, we were approached by Pelican to see if we were interested in bringing in some older special or limited editions that they manufactured in the past few years because they found more material for these items. And
sure.
this is where it gets crazy because it's models from the whole range, the 200 all the way up to the 800. And again, it's special editions that you can't buy firsthand anymore unless somehow some shop has them, right? And these pens can be an idea of just how good these designs are. Are you familiar with the M800 Ocean Swirl? It was that beautiful blue that was incredibly popular.
Yes.
So
Yep.
that is being made and is going to be in transit to us soon. So it's
Ooh.
2023. The fact that we're going to have
Wow.
a new Ocean Swirl coming in is pretty absurd because you can only buy
Yeah.
that and off eBay or someone else. So be on the lookout
Wow.
for an announcement like that. It's going to be spectacular. We didn't hesitate. We said yes immediately because that stuff is super cool and really challenging to find. And then the Montegrappas, we actually have been talking with our good friend Carrie, which you're very familiar
Oh
with.
yes.
Super
Yeah. Carrie's
nice.
a great guy. He
Yeah,
just
he's amazing.
he is. He's everywhere. He travels all around the world for Kenro and all the brands they represent and own and everything
Hmm.
else. He's just a wonderful, so much energy, always a big smile, just a fantastic guy.
Yeah, so he's also the founder of Fountain Pen Day, which is coming
That's
up on
right.
November 3rd. Super fun day to celebrate the love for fine writing. But we've been working with him. There's basically this new kind of like a program where they are bringing in very exclusive materials, working with Montegrappa Italy. And we are basically hand selecting, which we've already seen the finishes. There was a lot of pen blanks, a lot of different
Ooh.
designs, and selected a few of these colors. I think it's about like 5 or 6, if I recall. But they are going to be complete exclusives to Atlas. You can only get them at Atlas. And basically, once the exclusive is made, we have the rights to the material, if you will, right?
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, so they can't sell it to anyone else. We can decide to put it on whichever model we want from the Montegrappa lineup. The Elmo O1, which is a great pen. The Elmo O2. I think the Venetia was another one. If you're not familiar with those
I am
models,
very familiar. Anything Venice,
yeah.
I know about. That's
Oh,
kind
good.
of yeah. So that's a
Yeah.
beautiful one.
So there's a lot happening, and this is all in an effort to make a
Mm.
big push for the fourth quarter and the holiday season because obviously we see a lot of the releases throughout the year across all these brands, but right when gifting season comes, you want the newest, the hottest thing. We all can say we're going to gift this stuff to others, but if we're being honest with ourselves, we're also buying for ourselves.
Sure.
But it's a lot, man. There's a lot. So
Absolutely. Roxy Sosa says I've wanted one of those ocean swirls forever. So this is her big chance. Big chance.
yeah.
Now let me go back to the Pelican because I got to ask you something. So they're
Sure.
resurrecting these sort of out like previous styles. Does that have something to do with them changing ownership? Like they're delving into the archives or something? Is it related?
Okay, so we were offered this stuff before we got
Okay.
word ownership changed and it was sold, right? I'm not sure, obviously what happens behind the scenes, this
Sure.
stuff is taking place well before the news breaks to the public. But it's not like they're producing a ton. I think this is a situation where they decided to walk through their warehouse and they found 2 blanks of the Ocean Swirl. They found 3 red.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's tens of 20s. It's literally like 2 of these, 6 of these, maybe in the 200 series, a little bit lower. It's 10 of these, 15 of these, but it's super limited quantity. So I wish I had the list. I would honestly be straight up and tell you guys, but I don't have it here at my apartment. But we're gonna do our best to figure out how the best way to release this stuff is because we are well aware that the second it goes up, everyone's gonna, basically Hawkeye it, and
Oh
it's gonna
yes.
first serve basis, but we're going to try to make it as fair as possible. Notify people maybe a week out or a few days out. Hey,
Okay.
this is your chance. So
Discord server. I think that is a reason for people to sign up for the Discord server.
I love it. That's a
Yeah.
great advertisement right there for the server. You're thinking ahead. I love it.
Everything's connected, and you're talking about. We were talking about new ownership and changes. I think it might be interesting. You carry Omas. You know Frank Zhang. I saw you. You have had a. Was it the sidewalk sale that he came to? I know he came to one of your events.
Yeah, yeah. So he's been for takeovers this year. He's been here for
Nice.
our sidewalk sale that happened a month ago, and he'll be coming back out for the holiday events. We're doing a couple holiday expos.
Great. So I think he's a fantastic guy. I've spoken to him over on Instagram. He was very nice. He sent me a Ogiva,
Oh,
Omas
nice.
Ogiva. And it's
Yeah.
kind of cool, by the way, to have an Aurora and kind of an Omas at the first time because they have a conversation. These two pens, they're
Mhm.
both ebonite feeds. They're both Italian. They're both excellent pens, both for different reasons. But I think he's doing a stupendous job with Omas, and I got some criticism in the comments from folks that are so invested in Omas and the history of
Mhm.
Omas. And we all know how it feels when you love, like you're a fan of something, you just love it so much. And you kind of want it, I guess, to be as it always was. But of course, Omas ended, and now Frank owns the trademarks, and he's, in
Mhm.
my opinion, doing everything he can to make a fantastic pen that's worthy of that name. And
Sure.
I looked at this very objectively. Like to me, it's a pen more than an Omas because I never owned a classic Omas.
Mhm.
So as a pen, it's stupendous, like incredibly smooth, incredibly well made. The machinery, the finish, the color, and of course made in Italy, and gold nib. ebonite feed, just fantastic. Piston fill, quasi-translucent materials. I'm just so impressed with it. I'm wondering on the retail side, what kind of reception is it having?
Yeah, I think if we back up for a second and we take a look at a brand being reborn, if you
Yes.
will.
Oh, guest has muted
Can you still
themselves.
hear me?
I can. Yeah.
Okay,
What?
I don't know what's going on. I'm so sorry. I'm
That
getting
was so
calls from
dramatic.
yeah, yeah. So basically, what's happened is when you have a brand that's been reborn, there's
Yes.
always going to be people that had the expectation that it's just as good as what it was, when
Right.
it was the original brand. We saw a lot of this with Parker re-releasing the Parker 51.
Yep.
We have somewhat seen this with Delta, kind of, taking
Delta.
a hiatus for,
Even Estabrook back in the day when Estabrook came back, I mean, they took a lot of flack, and once again, Brian with the way he looked at the spirit of it and knew they had 150 different nib types. So Estabrook offers probably the widest range of nib types and
a lot.
customizations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, and I love stuff like that, and I feel like that's good hands. But you were saying, so I'm gonna let you continue.
Yeah, so obviously there's inspiration for the modern ownership, trying to create products that have certain elements from the originals or the previous editions, but they also have to create a new brand identity, which is, yes, it's the same company, the same manufacturer, but they have to rebuild a brand. And sometimes is it better
Yes.
to rebuild a brand for what it was, or is it better to create a new brand under the same name? And so what Brian and I always say is that when you have a company that is trying to stay as classic as possible, that's great for the people who knew the brand while it was a classic. But
Right.
what about everyone else in the community, which is now growing, everyone who is just getting into the fine writing world? Why would they care about a pen that was made 100 years ago when they know the Twisby Eco, they know the
Yeah.
Narwhal Scoico, or things like that. So essentially, what we have seen is that there's always going to be feedback, good and bad, but the
Yes.
modern purchasers, the people who are new to this community, who are growing their own collection, they always are the ones who generally have the positive feedback because they're not comparing this to that.
Mm-hmm.
And why would a company want to produce the exact same thing that they made 50 years ago?
Well, let me take
The
that one further, if I may interrupt you. And to be harsh, even, why would they want to go back to make the same pens that they made 50 years ago, and then the company failed?
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Materials have changed over time. The mechanisms involved have changed over time. The trends have changed.
Mm-hmm.
The market, the target audience, the market has changed. And so I think Esterbrook's a great example where they take elements like their JR and their J,
Yes.
which are inspired from the previous editions, but they put a modern twist on it, right?
Yes.
Their
Yep.
Esterbrook SE, perfect example right there. They bring all these fun colors and they're vibrant, they're vivid.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the market is demanding right now.
Yeah.
Now,
Great
they could
finishes.
go
Yep.
back and make all of their pens black with gold trim, black with silver trim. But is that what the market is demanding right now? Probably not. And so, what I'm seeing right now with Omas, granted, it's still very new.
Mm-hmm.
Frank is an absolute genius. This
He
guy
is.
is very experimental with materials and he knows what to do and he's very well connected. But Omas right now, they had original stock on some of the nibs, which were fantastic, which we saw on the I forgot the name of the model, the blue saffron, and then the
Mm-hmm.
Israel model. And then I'm pretty
Oh,
sure the
okay.
Paragon, the faceted model, was original. Like the Paragon, I think it's called the Wild, was original Omas material,
Oh,
right? So
wow. Yeah, the
they,
Paragon's
they
impressive.
oh, it's a great pen. I was
Yeah.
I was looking at it today in the shop. It's unbelievable. But
Well,
basically,
yeah.
oh, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I'm so sorry. Just to make this point real quick, ebonite feed, gold in-house nib, lovely materials, piston fill,
Mm-hmm.
fantastic writer, and I see it being sold for $340.
It's
So
crazy.
that tells you what kind of genius Frank is. This pen is extraordinary. Like this needs to
Hmm.
be celebrated. That's a lot of pen for
Hmm.
340. So
Yeah.
can't
Look
post
at
it though.
look at his narwhal voyage collection. Look at his narwhal nautilus collection.
Yeah.
This guy is producing ebonite pens. He's producing custom resins that were made by resin makers in the U.S. and he's keeping them sub $200. Right? Internal piston fillers, ink windows. Right? He's doing all of this while keeping it a very affordable price. I know it's all relative, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
that's the thing with Omas is he's basically luring us all back in. The people who bought original Omas and new users who maybe aren't familiar with the brand. And then what I think that he's going to do, and this is an assumption, I have no idea the business plan, right? I only see kind of, what's in the near future, right? He can expand off of that foundation that he rebuilt and
Yeah.
hit all these different markets. And the people like the Ojiva, imagine if they put some really cool, vivid, out there colors on it. Well, you're going to attract all the people that buy the fun narwhals, that buy the fun Ferris wheel press stuff. You know what I
Yes.
mean? It
Yeah,
just
I do.
that's
And you're right. Like,
done.
I think he is going in with a kind of a plainer, because I think he only has fine and medium nibs right now. So he's got
I think
yeah, a few choices, but he's starting a pen club again, and you're going to be able to do customizations and everything else. You might have to wait for it, but you will be able to do it. He's also picking up the repairs. He'll do repairs on the older
mm-hmm.
Omas, which is nice. So I think
Yeah.
it's in really good hands, and I'm just really impressed with him. And he's also very nice of him to reach out and just send a pen. I don't usually have that kind of interaction with CEOs necessarily. I'm still waiting for my call from the CEO of Pilot. That
Yeah.
would be fantastic. But I'm just really
Oh,
impressed.
that'd be great.
Right? I've been using that and
Mm-hmm.
the Aurora quite a bit lately. So super fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he built Narwhal. It's going in a great
Yeah.
direction. Rebuilding Omas, it's already going in a great direction. And you're right, he can bring different components to Omas that maybe he doesn't provide in Narwhal just because it's a more luxury or it's a more high end brand. So now he's got two pretty different brands under his belt right now that satisfy very different markets. But I'm sure he's going to try to get the Narwhal users to maybe pay $100 more to go from the Nautilus to the Ojiva, right? I don't know. He's in a great position right now and super excited to see what he does.
Yeah, I really like that stuff. And for me, as someone who makes videos, you are always looking for a way to access a pen rather than just talk about it statistically. And a
Mm-hmm.
big part of that is heritage. And my view of heritage is if a pen is evolving, that's fantastic. And it's great when something has an unbroken chain going back to its origins. But in 2023, it's a little unrealistic to expect a brand to be around for 100 years or whatever and not change in some way. I mean, even something like a Mont Blanc, one time they were ebonite feeds and they're not anymore. It's like you could say it's not the same pen. Like you could always kind of put up a barrier. And what I would encourage people, I guess, what point I'm trying to make, and I think the whole basis of my channel is try new things. Just
Mm-hmm.
get out, try an Ojiva, see how it is, how much value you get for 360. 823. Try that pen. Vac fills are fun. You can't clean it. Everyone, I always get 10 comments. You can't clean them. I'm like, so what? You got a little water in there. Just put the ink in anyway. Like, don't worry about stuff like that. A little water with your ink isn't going to do anything.
And you're always gonna try to slide the 823 into any conversation. I love it.
It always comes up. You know how much I love that pen. So
Yeah, yeah. But exactly, and I'm not trying to pitch our Discord server here again, but
please.
there are literally hundreds of people that are in this channel, and if you say, "Hey, I'm thinking of this pen," any feedback, you'll get live responses from people that own it, or maybe people who are thinking about purchasing the same model. And the community is a group that you can lean on for information. Obviously, as a retailer, I want to be a resource and provide as much information as I can.
Sure.
But at the same time, I've also got to sell all the brands we represent, right? But
yeah, you do. You're a busy guy.
exactly, my perspective might be slightly different than someone who's trying to buy this pen because I maybe don't personally own it, but I have this perspective of it as a retailer. Hey, it's a really great pen. It sells very quickly, or it doesn't move as fast. But from an individual buyer's perspective, everyone in the Discord server is on the same playing field, and they're willing to offer their honest feedback. They might say, hey, you know what? If you're going to spend $200, maybe you should look at this pen instead, right? And then you're opening yourself up to all of these potential different models, and you're expanding your horizons. But at the end of the day, the collecting is your own to do. There's no right or wrong to it. It's whatever you love, whatever you enjoy, and your preferences are different than mine, or different than everyone watching, and that's the beauty of the fine writing world.
And I agree with that completely. I just filmed a video about Yovo nibs, and the title of the video is, do you really need another Yovo nib? Because how many pens do we have that have like Yovo nibs? A lot. And it's like, if you're looking for different experiences, are you really getting that if every pen you buy under different guises is really what I call a Yovo nib delivery device?
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's me being critical, because within the same video, I also give 5 compelling reasons why you should buy a pen with a Yovo nib. So it's a very complex thing, but I think value propositions, you're weighing these different things. Like, at what point maybe you don't want to pay for a steel nib if a pen is $350. If you can get an ogiva with a gold in-house and ebonite feed, why would you pay for steel? But it might have a different material that you really like, or it might be named after your alma mater or something, and you have to have it. So there's all different considerations. I think it's super fun.
Yeah, and let's make a point clear, just because it has a gold nib doesn't mean it's necessarily better than a steel nib, or just because it has this material doesn't mean it's better. It's more so comparing pens that are like comparing apples to oranges. Everything has its own unique features. You pay for what you get most of the time. If you're going to spend, a couple grand on a pen, you're most likely buying a pen that has some crazy barrel or unique materials from across the world, right? If you're going to spend $30, you're probably going to get a resin pen with a steel nib, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, there's also a sweet spot like the Pilot Custom A23, where if you buy that pen, you might be like, oh my gosh, this is the perfect pen. Why would I buy anything else, right? So
or E95S, where for $135 you're getting a gold nib, and you're not just getting a gold nib, you're getting a weird one. And that's the one thing I love about gold. Gold can do weird things, and the E95S is a little weird. That's what's so wonderful about it. And I would encourage people to give that a try, because steel could be a little more consistent what it can do. Although I have some great flex nibs that are steel too. So you're right. They're all different, but it definitely keeps us.
It amazes me how that is so inexpensive. Like seriously, $140 for that E95S is crazy. You would think everyone has that in their collection.
Yeah, and it's sort of one that just seems to be kind of getting more popular. It's getting spoken about more and more. I was definitely an early proponent and trying to show it to people. I think it has an interesting energy to it. It reminds me of like a cosmetic product.
Yeah, it's weird. It's definitely like a vintage inspired pen with the inlaid nib, and it's a weird one for sure. Do you mind if I... Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Do you mind if I show something real quick?
Yeah, please do.
I think you might know Bryce Gillette of Luxury Brands of America. They're the distributors of Platinum, Waldsman, Baynew. I'm sure you've seen this pen. They've worked the last probably year or so on producing their next North American exclusive Platinum 3776. And you've seen photos of the new one they're doing, the Sands of Komodo?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, so basically, it's this beautiful pen, beautiful blue with rose gold hardware, which is kind of interesting. We don't see it too often from Japanese manufacturers. But anyways, I was very lucky enough to have him send the prototype to us so I could photograph it. I got it like a few days ago, and I called him and asked if I could show it tonight. So I might be one with it in hand, and this might be the first official like live showing of it. But I just wanted to show everyone.
Wow. Beautiful.
Yeah, so this is a pre-order coming out, I think in a few weeks, but I just really wanted to show it to
Love it.
everyone watching because it's gorgeous. The 3776 is a great model. The
It's a
rose
great
gold,
pen.
absolutely. It just I think that a lot of people when they saw the photos of this on our website, and same with me, since it's a semi-transparent body, one photo they had sand in the background and it made the blue look a lot darker since it's a transparent pen. And then they saw the next photo, which is the stock photo, the silhouette with the pen and a white background, which made it look more like this. So I just wanted to clear the air and give an official look that this is the color of the pen for anyone that's been curious to know. And it's going to be
Nice.
a very successful release, and I think the Gillettes did a great job with it. So thank
Well,
you
it's
for letting me show that.
oh, it's a pleasure. I wish I had like a world exclusive, banner I could have put up. Is it a what would you call that? An aquamarine, color wise?
Yeah, yeah. I think aqua. I think that's a very fair color.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, very
So,
nice, stunning. Uh, Do you
mhm,
know what the price point
mhm.
for that is yet, or hasn't it been?
It's on our website. I want to say it's like 350. If somebody could fact check, that'd be great. I don't know if Brian's still on the call. I want to say it's
Sure.
about 350.
Yeah, 3776.
Yeah, North American. It's a great pen. It's a great pen.
Yeah,
So
I
thank
love
you.
that pen. No, it's a pleasure. You have anything else in your goodie bag?
So I'm rocking my Giorlogio case. I try to
Very
keep it to
nice.
24 in the rotation. You've
Very
seen this
nice.
before.
Yeah, yeah. What you
The
have a
newest
different
pen.
backdrop though in there. It's like a plaid backdrop. I don't have that in mine.
Yeah, this is I think it's called the brown, the bomber brown, which this
Ah.
one has the plaid.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's.
I
I
like
need
it
to
a
get one.
lot.
I don't have one. I just bought. I just got
Yeah,
this from you in my last order
yours.
when I got the Twisby.
Oh, love it, dude. These are great,
Yeah, they're awesome. This because I like to shelve mine, so I have them all ready to go.
dude. Love it. There's nothing like seeing up their collection and you're just drooling. You're like, okay, that's dope.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
So yeah, I've got some pens that were gifted to me. I've showed some on the channel, but the only new um, the recently acquired pen that I have was from the Chicago Pen Show. I've showed this on our Instagram one time. Are you a football fan? Are you a Patriots fan by chance?
I'm not a sports guy. Like I'm baffled by all of it. I don't. The only sports I was into as a kid were ones I did myself, like rock climbing, tennis. Like
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Rock
man, it
climbing's
was
intense.
fun. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. Okay, well, this might not hit you as much as it hits me, but
Okay,
Brian,
so
I saw this. He made this post like 2 years ago for the Super Bowl, and fast forward 2 years later, I ran into him at the Chicago Pen Show, and he had this pen, a one of one. It is the most goated pen of all time, the greatest of all time. It is my football pen. Absolutely,
oh, that's so fun.
it's got the pigskin, the football, and then it's hard to see, but it's got the yard markers on the field right there.
Oh, that's super fun.
Yeah, will people like this? I mean, if they like football, sure. But me and my family are huge football people. The Bears obviously suck, which is disappointing.
Oh, I'm
But
sorry.
this pen is that one pen that like it spoke to me, and I was like, I gotta have it.
It's super fun. It's well styled.
Hmm.
Love it.
That's the one, brother. That's the one.
So, are you going to Washington this year? You think, or I know you did it last year. Do you think you'll do it again? Is there a chance?
The DC Super Show.
Yes,
Yeah. So first off, you need to get out there.
I'm planning on it. My wife and I were thinking of booking in January, and we're going to stay at the hotel. I think for two
Mhm.
nights during the show, and then we're going to head into Washington and hit the museums, and we're all coming. It'll be
Oh,
my
good.
wife and daughter. So we're going to do a Hemingway Jones meetup. That's
Oh,
the
that would,
plan. So
dude, that would be good. Yeah. So we had a great experience at the DC Pen Show. We attended as kind of guests or attendees, I should say, rather than vendors. And the freedom of not worrying about a table and just being able to walk around was an unbelievable experience because One, we had the ability to go talk to a ton of people, whether it's vendors that we never met before, because a lot of international vendors will go to DC because it's on the coast, right? They won't really come to.
Sure.
But a lot of great people that we've been doing business with for years. We had the opportunity to meet them for the first time. The biggest name off the top of my head, we got to meet Galen Leather in person.
Oh, wow.
Leather. We got to meet the owners of Leonardo, which great people. Got to meet a ton of you who are watching, and I've only spoken to you on Instagram or through direct messages, and it just was really neat. And the show is big. It's pretty big, man. And you would be recognized so much out there by
I don't know about
others.
that.
Dude, you would be a riot for sure if you went.
Well, I'm planning on going, and I hope maybe you and I can walk around together. That would be super fun. And
Oh, would love
we can do shots before, so that we'll have a good time.
Hey, I'm down, absolutely.
That'll be
Uh,
good.
yeah, so you do the Boston Pen Show. I forgot what the name of it is. Please forgive.
Commonwealth Pen Show, but sadly they canceled it this year, and then they did it as like a pop up in the middle of the state, rather than a full on pen show, which is really kind of sad because a lot of people had booked their flights and whatnot, and I don't know. I guess they had problems with the venue.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's tough when people make all these accommodations and then it gets canceled last minute. It's tough. But for those of you who maybe you've only gone to your local pen show, which pretty much during the spring through like the end of fall, we see kind of a pen show almost every weekend. It's pretty
Yeah,
crazy, right?
absolutely.
Major cities, some smaller ones. So obviously, I'd encourage you to go to those local pen shows. But if you have the ability, make a trip out of a pen show, right? Build a weekend long trip out of the DC show. Maybe go out to San Francisco. That's another great show that we hear tons of things about, right? You can experience the city and
Sure. Well, what about Chicago? I mean, you gotta sing your own praises too. I mean, that's I've never been
and
to Chicago, and I need
gotta
to get
slide.
out there too. I know. I want to go to the
Yeah,
Field Museum. Of course, I want to see you. I mean, it's weird.
absolutely.
We haven't actually met in person, which is really strange.
Yeah, well, I feel like I've known you forever, brother.
I know you
Seriously.
too. Yeah, I'm really appreciative. You're one of
I'm
my.
just bring the whole family, dude. I'll,
I
I'll show you
will.
some good food, some good. You know, it's so funny when you get recommendations to go to or recommendations to like when you're going to certain places or cities. Obviously, you could look up like TripAdvisor, top things to do as a
Mhm.
tourist. Really, where it all is asking the locals like, hey, where should I go get some food, or hey, what should I go visit? So obviously, I could tell people, Millennium Park, the Sears Tower Sky Deck, which is super fun to do. But I got some spots up my sleeve that a little more low key, but they're really fun. And
Nice.
I saw a good video on TikTok about like when you're looking for cuisine, right? Certain cuisine if you're on a trip. And let's say you're looking for, like sushi or like exotic cuisine or pizza, even, right? You don't want to necessarily go to the place that has all the 5-star reviews. You want to find the places that have the 3-star reviews because the service might not be good, but
Right.
that's okay. The food is just the greatest thing you'll ever try. So I think there's a whole system called like the 3-star. I don't know, the 3-star system, where if it's got 3 stars, it could be better than the 5 stars, bro.
Yeah, I've heard so, especially with Chinese restaurants. I hear it's like if the service is really great, it's like no, that's not the place you want to go. I mean, you want to ask locals where
You're different.
everyone's going.
Yep. Yeah, they're gonna serve you your food. You're gonna be unbothered. You're gonna have the greatest, taste bud explosions, and that's what it's about, man. And I just need to squash some beef real quick.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that Chicagoans love deep dish. We do, but it's not our favorite. We don't normally go for deep dish. A lot of us go for thin crust, pan style, all that stuff. I love thin crust. So if I'm taking you out, I'm gonna show you deep dish, but I'm also gonna get you into my favorite thin crust spot. So I just need to clear the air on that.
Oh,
So
that's fine, and we're down, and yeah, just find some places that are 6-year-old friendly, because
yep,
I come with a circus, but and she's very good in restaurants though, which is fantastic. She's a lot of fun.
yep, good. Well, that's awesome, brother. That's awesome. Yeah, this has been a riot, man.
It's been great to have you.
Oh, thank you. I have your chat pulled up on my laptop because I know I can't see it from my phone. Dude,
Sure.
you got unbelievable interaction, and I just want to give a shout out to everyone watching. And I mean, dude, it's seriously so impressive the community you're building and
Thank you.
the love that is here in the community. It's super fun and it's super easy to talk to you too, man. You do a
Thanks. I
great job.
appreciate it. No, thanks a lot. I really, really appreciate it. And see, Laddie Gardner just gave a $25 super chat. Thank you very much. He's one of the members of the channel. And yeah, it's a great community here. I see Wasky Squirrel is here, which is always lovely. I'm going to have him on October 10th. Another great YouTuber. So that'll be super, super fun.
Your
Simon, what's that?
packed. Your schedule is always packed. Like you got great guests. I try to keep up with it as much as I can.
Oh,
And
thanks.
dude, you're a poppin' guy, man. You always got
Thanks.
the great. And what's super cool is the amount. Obviously, you have a good amount of people, but they all are substantially different, right? You get so many different perspectives from maybe myself as a retailer or maybe another content creator, things like that, which is awesome. The variety that your channel offers, dude.
Thank you. I do try to mix it up, so I really appreciate that. And if you haven't seen it yet, watch Cool or Not Cool too, because my wife makes a big impression on the channel as a co-host. If you haven't
Yeah,
seen that one, yes.
is that like you're going through the pens? I saw the thumbnail, but admittingly, I haven't watched it yet. But I figured the whole video is around her opinions on if she thinks this pen is cool or not. So that's good
Exactly.
content.
And then we kind of, hash it out. And it's super fun. I just filmed the second part because it was so popular. So, she was
Oh,
really good. Yeah, well, good stuff.
hey,
Well,
how is this
yeah.
going? Your ink collection. I know you're trying the Anubis. I know you don't use the shimmering inks, but any new thoughts or opinions? Have you been kind of branching out a little bit more?
Yeah, well, I'm definitely into a lot of shading, and I'm I'm right now. I'm really hot on Tachia, Hokusai Koye ink right now. I really like that color. I've been going pretty far afield. Still big on Moonview for the sheen. Definitely trying a lot more sparkles. I actually put it in. I put Anubis in the Lamy 2000, which is bold for me because I'm always
Yeah.
telling like don't put shimmer in a nice pen, and of course I go off and do so. But that's just how it is.
I love it. It's great. It's great to see you trying all this new stuff, man. That's what we're here for.
Thank you.
We're here for the news, and hopefully your opinions might change a little bit once you try the stuff out. And yeah, it's good stuff, man.
Well, they do, and that's kind of one thing about my channel is I'm not one of these people that has to always be right or who's afraid to look a little ridiculous. I make mistakes. My opinion changes. There's pens I don't like, and then I grow to love them, and I include all that. To me, it's all the journey, it's all the struggle, it's all the experience. So I don't mind that at all. Like I've had a tough time with this calligraphy nib Mont Blanc 146. I showed it to everyone like I'm so disappointed. I spent $1,000 for this thing and I don't like it. And then I took some calligraphy classes that Mont Blanc offers, a few other things. I've grown to love it. And that whole arc is in like 4 or 5 different videos. And I feel
Uh-huh.
like that's kind of what, if anything differentiates this channel, it would be my fantastic community and also just the fact that it's a journey. And we
Hmm.
don't have all the answers. We're just asking all the questions.
Yep, yep. The journey of 1,000 words begins with a single pen, brother.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, well done.
Yep.
Well
I
done.
just took that. My mom's favorite saying: "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." So a little
Yeah,
variation, but yeah.
exactly. No, that's good stuff. Well, I feel like I kept you long enough. I think we covered so much ground in such a little bit of time. And it's probably best that we cut it off. We'll have you back. We'll always have you back. So you know
Thank
that. I do want to say I love you to death. I think you're a fantastic person. You've been so generous and kind to me. You've also been a great source of like anytime I have an issue and I need to talk to someone, you've been a great person to confide in about everything. So I really appreciate you, everything you do for this community. And so many
Thank you.
people here love you, and I think you're very deserving of it. And your company's going places, and I'm proud of you all. And I really appreciate you being part of my life and this channel. So thank you.
No problem. Yeah, thanks to everyone who showing love and support. It's overwhelming sometimes, and we couldn't be more And yeah, thank you for you as well. Dude, this stuff just, it's so natural with you, brother. Like, we didn't even really have a script about much, and the conversation flowed. So, I think that just goes to show you the friendship we've built. So,
True.
love you too.
Yeah, love
Thank you. And looking forward to, popping on the next one. So,
all right, great. Appreciate you having. Stay on while I say goodbye to everyone.
oh,
I
absolutely.
don't want to unceremoniously dump you off.
Yeah, I'll be on the chat for a second under the Atlas account. So
Okay.
I just got to say my official sign off. Stay smooth.
Stay smooth. All right, we'll see you. Well, there we go. Brendan Schmidt. Lovely guy. Love him to death. So happy to have him on. Thank you all for watching. A new video coming up this Friday, actually. If I said Thursday earlier, I've changed it to Fridays. I put up a poll. You guys said Friday. So Friday it is. We'll try that. But I promise always we'll have new videos, new conversations. I promise I'll see you all further up the road. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.